Hello and welcome to another lovely morning and lovely episode of Rise and Shine. I hope you're having a good day, waking up bright and early with us, and I hope you're ready to participate as much as you can in the updates that we have on our news analysis and so many lighter things coming after that. Thank you for joining us today. Arama Emmanuel, another exciting episode.
Morning, yeah.
Okay, how's our mood this morning?
I'm just here hoping to not have as many sad stories as we had yesterday.
Okay, well, we have updates. That's one. I don't know about the mood, but I know there are updates. So things are going on. I expected these updates. So
good thing I was able to fight off one runny nose from yesterday, and I'm looking all bright and early today, so it's good. And then Nigeria decided to give us something to look forward to Christmas.
what?
As regards your cars.
It depends
It depends. Yeah, it depends. When we do the analysis, we'll probably understand. Yeah. But it's, like I say, it's something for Christmas. Perhaps your cars might be looking different into the new year.
Maybe.
Alright, well, let's hold that thought for the analysis. Quickly, let's look at the headline stories we have for today. And so we're going to be starting off with the Guardian newspaper. And now it says the Northern Elders in the Guardian newspaper, Northern Elders ask Buhari to resign over insecurity. And that's the major ones on that particular one.
We're still talking security.
And we're still talking security once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, still looking for that in the Guardian newspaper. We have Reps summon British envoy over Gowon. And other updates, the NC threatens invasion of NEDC if FC falls to name a substantive board. More updates says the Senate okays Yakubu as an INEC chair for another 5 years. Wow, that's interesting.
It was expected.
I think that's what we'll take for the Guardian newspaper. It's as interesting as it is.
It was expected.
Yeah. On the Guardian newspaper, the headline says, Northern Elders ask Buhari to resign over insecurity. Okay. Sorry, that is Tribune, and the headline on Tribune says, angry senators again want service chiefs sacked. Reps to invite Buhari. And in all the stories on Tribune also, this one says, tag Buhari's administration a failure over insecurity. And the third one that's much more as obvious as the one before says, call for probe of $1 billion arm procurement fund. Basically everything on here is
they also have the saying Yakubu story from INEC chairman for another 5 years. So I'm basically going to be everywhere. And there are updates from the IPPIS and reps, the MENA issue, and basically still talking security and all.
Okay.
And in Punch, we have Boko Haram Borno massacre as their intro, and they go Boko Haram mount checkpoints, collect levies, say Senate, and reps also planning to invite Buhari. And at the top of their paper, they have it will be cheaper to run gas-fed vehicles. This was what I was referring to when I introduced myself. So something for Christmas, if your car's going to be looking different. And they also have at the top as well, Senate confirms Yakubu nomination as INEC chair. And then Forex liquidity presents risks to Nigerian bank ratings. That's according to Fitch. Looking at the Punch front page, everybody's basically still talking about the same thing. So we'll move on to the next paper.
Yes, let's have the Daily Sun, and let's look at the lead stories on the Daily Sun. So here we have once again still on insecurity, majorly in the country, insecurity issues nationwide. It says a Senate okays mercenaries used to fight Boko Haram. Okay, so that's what we talked about. We mentioned that.
It's on all.
And I'm looking at more sub stories on the Daily Sun newspaper. It says reps summon Buhari, demand sack of service chiefs. So that one not going anywhere, but still on that. Then we have massacre will continue until they go. That's from Northern Elders. And still on service chiefs, and it says that presidency calls out of place. That is probably as regards summoning Buhari for that particular one. And it says attack on rice farmers, death toll rises to 67. That's quite interesting because we're coming from 43. And for more updates, we have updates from the Boko Haram leader also giving his figures, which we'll also be addressing. So let's have a look at other newspapers' headlines.
Vanguard.
Okay, headlines on Vanguard. The front page says Borno massacre. Senate Shekau differ on casualties. And then just below the page it says 67 were killed. That's according to the Senate. And Boko Haram, that's Shekau now saying we killed 78. Now, in the bottom of the page, there's an update from INEC which says Yakubu gets Senate's nod for another tenure. Just right beside that, it says Nigerians in Ghana raise alarm over fresh closure of shops. I think we saw a bit of this.
Yeah. We talked about it. And so we'll wrap up with the nation.
Yeah,
wrap up with the nation. The lead story is Senate. Buhari government has failed to secure Nigerians. And they also have something that has to do with business. Dollar savers offload deposits as Naira exchanges for 490 Naira to $1. And the top of the paper has judiciary tops corruption index with 9.4 billion bribes. Our judiciary though. Okay. And there's still voting opens in Ghana general election. And Senate clears Yakubu gone. Those are election stories. Clears Yakubu for second term as INEC chair. So that's the nation.
So these are the headlines that we have majorly taking on the newspapers, the top stories for the newspapers today. And speaking on it, there's one aside the security issues, which is still trending, and we're going to be talking about it for a while, as we can see. I'm looking at the nod that Yakubu has received for another tenure as INEC chair. What's your view on this particular one? That means he's going to be there for the 2023 elections, and he's been there for quite a number of president of regimes now. So
I mean,
what's your view on this?
He said because after they did the whole clear confirmation, he came out and then gave his own press conference, and then he said what he would want them to do is to pass the electoral bill that had been there for like 2 years now. Just let it pass because they need it for the 2023 election. It is going to be paramount. It's going to be strategic. They need that bill to be passed. Now it's not now to begin to say would it help influence the election in 2023. No, this is going to pass through our representatives, our lawmakers. So if they're going to see any falls now, so that the 2 years is not been long enough for them to have fixed it up. So let's hope they get to pass it according to him, and then we to see changes in our I mean, these by-elections that was supposed to happen in Lagos and some other places should have given like a reflection of okay where we need to be at. And then America did their own thing. Should be thinking about things like electoral college or people who are doing voting for males. Alternatives, maybe this is the new electoral bill is going to cover it up, and then see how we go from there.
I'm also looking forward to that, being implemented into the constitution. But then basically, I just think everything he's been able to achieve so far has just been positive. Obviously, we've not had 100% free and fair or peaceful election in the whole of the nation, but I think so far he's been able to do good. So let's just hope the bill is passed, and then we see more developments come 2023.
All right, that's a lovely way to put it. Well, that's that on the newspaper headlines. We're going to be going on a short break. Yes, as always, we'll go on a short break right now, and then we'll return for in-depth analysis. We'll be focusing on the stories we've picked out for our topic of discussion today. To stay with us, we'll be back shortly. Welcome back once again. We're coming in from a quick newspaper headline review, or basically just pointing out one or two of the lead stories we have. And now it's time for our in-depth analysis. Looking at our first topic of discussion today, and just like Emmanuel already answered, it's quite interesting. It says Nigeria's government launches Autogas program as an alternative to petrol. And it says the federal government has rolled out an Autogas program called the National Gas Expansion Program. And speaking virtually from the presidential villa Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari has said the program is aimed at defending domestic usage of, or rather deepening domestic usage of natural gas in its various forms, and as the first choice source of cheaper and cleaner energy. And according to reports, the program, which involves the conversion of the fuel-powered prices of fuel-powered cars generated from petrol to gas, is expected to go live in all states of the Federation, and which will attract investors and lead to job creation. Interesting. At the Lugbe LPG dispensing station during the launch, the Minister of State for Petroleum, that's Timothy Silva, had handed over to the NLC the keys to 5 buses running on the gas product, following the directives of the president. And also wrapping up this particular story, NNPC Managing Director Mele Kyari said the Autogas program is expected to deliver at least 1 million vehicle conversions by the end of 2021. And we have an insert to further buttress this particular story. So let's have this video roll up right now with the help of our producers.
Infrastructure and resources to deliver on this. Of course, it's also our primary role to provide the combustion kits for all vehicles until other private sector people can come in. We see this as just as a service to Nigerians and also as a business for the corporation.
How do you mean providing conversion kits? I bring my car, then what do you convert?
Yes, you bring it to a location and then we put in the things that you need to do to hold the gas and also to receive the gas into your car.
So do you have a targeted number of cars that you do this for free?
Yeah, all the 1 million cars that we promise will be done through a structure that the Minister of Petroleum Resources will put in place to ensure that any Nigerian who wants to convert his car will get it done for free.
Well, the insert there to further buttress the story. Still not giving enough information. And I've been following this, I wouldn't say to the latter, but I've been waiting for more updates on this story. Firstly, the launch was supposed to actually take place in October. When they mentioned it was supposed to take place in October, and then this is December and they're talking about the launch. And now it's time to break down this particular story. Firstly, we know we would say this came up as an alternative due to the cries looking at the hike in fuel pricing from Nigerians, and this is supposed to come as an alternative. So if you're complaining about fuel that you can't afford for, you're supposed to get autogas cheaper. And it's supposed to be
supposedly cheaper.
It's supposed to be a lovely initiative. It's supposed to show that government would say, looking at what they have to say, has the minds or the hearts of the people at interest. But looking at the fact that it still seems undeveloped at this point in time, it's still a work in progress, and looking at it, it doesn't seem like they have a proper structure yet. Looking at what they have to say, although they've come out with the whole fact that they're going to be working with 1 million cars, there's still so many things that is just in the air right now as regards this particular story. There's so many questions we have on it, but let's hear everyone else's opinion. That's just my
no, take care of us first. Because when I started out with an optimistic thing, you guys just came at me, so I want to hear us.
Okay, start off the optimistic thing then.
Okay, here's the I'm looking at least someone's thinking outside the box. Yesterday we were talking about petrol cars. Some countries are thinking about scrapping it completely. In the UK by 2020, nobody's using petrol cars anymore. Everyone's looking at cleaner energy. Now, the fact that they're thinking about it, yesterday they were saying, I don't people think like we do on the show. So now it's giving us evidence that they're actually doing it. I'm not saying whether they're going to, this is not a question of how now. I'm like, okay, someone's actually thinking one way. Hi. Perhaps we're thinking about green energy to electric cars. We already have one in Lagos being assembled. Optimistic, someone's thinking that direction. Now, the feasibility of this is not even what I'm going to begin to analyze because I know it will take a while. Okay. In the whole of the world, this particular alternative that they're providing, it's only 5 countries that do it. And I'm asking myself, if it's just in 5 countries, how come the other countries, and I had to list out these 5 countries, I really had to do my own research and read about it. It happens in Turkey, it happens in Korea, Russia, Thailand, and Poland. These are not even European countries per se, apart from Poland, which is like the Scandinavian country. You don't see this alternative being used, gas. Now, it's easy to move from fuel, petrol, where you begin to do from crude oil to gas. We even flare gas. If you go to the Niger Delta, you see the thing that's being flared, like it's wasting. So why don't you trap this thing and use it for something else? And that's why this alternative comes. But the issue is, when you've gotten this gas, you have to remodel the cars.
Exactly.
You're going one. I'm going to give you some of the ones I noticed because there's advantage and disadvantage. Yes, we don't want to waste this gas. It can be useful, so we're trapping it. Fine. Now you want cars to now begin to use it. You have to remodel the cars. Those cars were used in some parts of Benin City. Those cars, they had to be redone. Where we have something like a cylinder in the car.
Yeah.
How safe is that? It's like me driving around with my gas cylinder that I use in my kitchen for cooking, and I put it in my car. With the kind of roads that we have, I enter gallop and your gas is always moving around. How stable is that? There are lots of things that you have to consider. And then the MD of NNPC actually said they're going to have few stations where you can do these things across the 36 states of the country. And I'm like, okay, there's some terrains that are pretty hot. With having gas in your car, who's safe? We don't want to drive your car around one day and then it explodes with you in it. Those are kind of things you need to check. Fine, look, they're going to remodel the cars and make it look something fine. I'm saying do it. I'm up for whatever it is you want to do, so you can have alternative source of, fuel, not just necessarily petrol. I love that one. I'm 100% up for that one.
Okay,
Someone wants to buy this petrol, go ahead and use it.
But Arrow has been keeping score.
I'm sure he's waiting. I'm sure he's waiting for me to say, okay, let me finish.
Exactly. I believe you probably just mentioned only half of what he's coming for. So
maybe
really though? No. Perhaps whatever he says, if I have other information to help explain better, because at the end of the day, it's just for our viewers to be able to understand why this thing is coming up.
And you know what I love about the contrast between us? I tend to want to pick out the loopholes.
Yeah.
I see the positives too. I outline them, but then obviously I want to pick out the loopholes. And then he always has a way of coming out to better explain it for those who are viewing to understand. Now, I like the fact that you started off with saying you have to remodel the cars. Now, we don't even know what kind of cars can be remodeled. Is this like any car? If you just have a car, yeah, they can just remodel it. At what cost are we remodeling the cars? If you're saying 1 million cars out of a country that has over 200 million people, and one person has like 3 or 4 cars, how many cars is 1 million out of that number? And the 1 million, are we talking 1 million from just Lagos or 1 million from, like he said, 36 states? Now, if you're saying 1 million from 36 states, now let's say you pick 200 in Lagos because you wanted to go viral and all that. You pick 200 in Lagos. What parts of Lagos? Where are the stations going to be? Like, you need to refuel, right? How many stations are we going to have in Lagos? Let's say you have one refueling station somewhere in Ikorodu. So let's say someone who has a car that now runs on autogas and it stays at Badagry. How exactly do I refuel?
Okay.
These are of things that I could just. But I don't want it to look like, okay, yeah, I came out and everything I'm saying is just the bad point.
No, because I tried to make notes of some of the points you made, because like we're basically asking questions. So,
questions.
For instance, you talked about the population. We all know we are over 200 million. We've not done a census in a long time. So most likely I will be shooting now at 250. The birth rate is skyrocketing. Now, yeah, you said somebody might have 1 or 2, 3, but we know that over 200 has children and young people. They all don't have cars. So that was it. Now, but unless there's something wrong with you, that's just saying, if I have 3 cars, why would I remodel all my 3 cars? So the day there's no gas, I will not go out. So you probably just do one of them as an alternative. That's why it's an alternative to what you have. I'm just saying. Now, that's what I'm saying. I love the fact that you really say, the government says for now, the 1 million is going to be free. They're going to do it for free. Perhaps going forward, they will begin to find how to charge you for it. But for now, perhaps you want to run, and I have 3 cars. Let me try this up with one of them.
How do you determine or select whose car gets remodeled? Why I asked that
from the clip, the reporter actually asked that question. And then he said, anybody, you just come, we're going to help you remodel your car for free.
Why I asked that question is, in most of the countries, and I actually looked it up, and it's actually more than 5 countries, but then the 5 you mentioned are the ones who it's really
it's a thing, yeah.
And now if you check those particular 5, especially Turkey that you mentioned, it's not just most of those who use the cars, they use it for like taxis,
yeah.
It's not even a personal thing.
Yeah.
Now, are we talking about using it in the commercial parts, like for public transportation?
Definitely
are we
not.
talking about definitely not? Yeah.
So now shouldn't be, because it's supposed to be an alternative.
Yeah, that's the fact that something
is private citizens who own cars converting their cars into autogas that burns faster than fuel. Emphasis on
it's
that.
Cheaper,
faster.
yeah. It's cheaper.
No,
it's cheaper.
They always say everything is cheaper until it gets to Nigeria.
No.
Until we start
I
understand.
I like the fact that you're bringing it, and I can understand your pessimism. It's something that people are not used to. So you can always, the reservation is there. I can give you an example. When Soludo brought the thought of using an ATM, this same ATM everybody uses now, we're thinking, how would it work in Nigeria? They were like, that's something you just put, that money will just come out. People didn't understand. It's a technology that people didn't understand. But today, everybody's using an ATM. perhaps give it a chance before we kill it. Let's even start it.
Emmanuel, you're saying giving it a chance, and Ira, with what you're saying, let's point out the fact that they said by end of 2021 is when they're going to be, basically seeing if they would have given out or basically called
all these things,
1 million cars to be remodeled. So that means, looking at what they said, if they've predicted end of 2021, that means they still have a lot that they haven't even, brought into
So basically, they want to test whatever they're trying to do with our cars.
Hang on.
When you see companies that come out to do things like this, they've already tested. They tested with their own products.
Hang on now.
Not
Hang
testing
on. I did mention there were these cars were in Benin City.
The ones they handed to NMPC.
No. They're using that taxes in 2012. So these cars came around. So the person was like, well, they're not using it anymore because it wasn't as popular. But the thing is, here's one thing we should bear in mind. Some of these sound bites, we need to pay attention to what things they say. The federal government did mention, that's the Timothy Silva, Minister of State, said they gave some to who? The NLC. These are representatives in labor. So if by the time they use those cars, and then it has begins all these faults that we pointed out, they will come and those ones will definitely not hide mouth now. They will not come and speak like government. They will definitely tell us, please don't do this thing. And thank God you mentioned the fact that they were used in taxis more. So we're not expecting every Nigerian to go and remodel their cars.
Exactly.
It's just a handful of people who want an alternative. The fact that something is an alternative just tells you can still use what you're using now.
Very true, because some people are not, whether we like it or not, some people are not really faced by the price of fuel at this point in time. So they wouldn't go for that option because they're not really looking for something cheaper. If fuel has been working for them for so many years, I mean,
remember how we bashed them with the electric cars?
Yeah, the electric car.
We're like, okay, how?
Well,
No, it's just an assembly for now. I'm wondering because we don't even have, just like you said, if we're waiting till we have constant power before we do that one, that means we won't do anything now because we don't know when next we have 24 hours power. I don't know where she lives though. Maybe she
she doesn't even know the shape of her.
No, but this is, see how we bash the. What we're just saying is we're praising them for giving us alternatives. Now we know we can have electric cars and then gas-powered cars.
I like that
and then petrol.
idea.
So perhaps somebody will come up with one that uses hydro water. Who knows?
Let's start with one first. Let's not get
my own is I'm just happy the fact that we have alternatives. That's what I'm happy about.
All right then, Emmanuel, let's move on to another story. So basically that's on that. My problem naturally when it comes to lovely alternatives and initiatives like this is when you start, you for now, like I said, they talked about this in October and we didn't hear anything till now.
Let's blame it on the pandemic. We blame it on the pandemic. Everybody does that now. Everybody does it. It's the pandemic.
Like you said, it's fair enough. Let's say it's on the pandemic, but we don't want a situation where we will not have to wait till like March once again to hear more updates on this. At least we should have monthly updates on what is going on. Okay, we're testing.
And then we as
this is it. We might not. Okay, and so we know ahead of time if there are going to be more delays, because I mean we still have our Lagos Ibadan Railway Expressway and things like that. Even with all the updates we have, we're still hearing delays.
We in the media need to do more. We can always keep them on their toes and ask them questions, like follow-up questions all the time. Okay, sir, last week you said this. What's the update? If they tell you something, okay, this is what it is, or this is not what it is, we'll come and report it. Definitely. Once we get information, we'll share it to our viewers. We love them now, don't we? No, whatever updates we always get on things like this, we always bring it to you firsthand.
But have you noticed when there's an invention or a reinvention in other countries, they tend to carry everyone along. Like when they make the mistakes, they're showing it to you. When the success comes, they're showing it to you. When it's the testing phase, they're showing it to you. Nigeria will just come up like, we have this and we have that, and the next 1 year. So I'm scared that I could just be driving on the road one day and I just hit a bump or something and boom. Explosion. Like, because
let's not allow negativity to.
Let's be open. I love to be optimistic. I love to be. Especially Nigeria, the one day we're gonna get it better.
Because you never know. It could work out. It
could
work out.
Stay positive. Stay positive.
Exactly.
Stay positive.
With the fact that we're staying positive, let's move on to our next story. And like I said, we've promised we're going to keep on talking about updates as regards insecurity in the country, and that's one that's still the trend of the day, and we're still going to be talking about during this week. And It's quite interesting.
No,
honestly,
the fact
that we're still going, and now we're having numbers and so many things coming up. Honestly, what do you have to say quickly before we even pick our particular story? And for this particular story, Mano is going to be helping us read it, and then we can all react.
this is. I hope I wasn't going to be doing this in the morning because after we did all that from yesterday, no. Okay, so the whole long and short is Boko Haram spokesperson has come out to say something that is still giving us shivers in our timbers. If you know what I mean, it's still giving us goosebumps. Okay, so the headlines goes, Boko Haram leader Shekau justifies the killings of rice farmers. Factional leader of the Boko Haram, Abubakar Shekau, has confirmed that his group was responsible for the killing of rice farmers in Kwashebe, Jere, LGA in Borno State. Shekau, in a 3-minute video released yesterday, said his group killed 78 farmers because they arrested and handed one of his brothers, in quote, to the Nigerian army. He also threatened those arresting his members and giving out intelligence on his group's activities to the military that they would face the same fate if they did not desist from doing so. Now, why I said this was rather disturbing was I remember when we were having this conversation yesterday, we were talking about having more people giving intel, and in my head I'm thinking, perhaps that was not a good advice to give, right?
We were really talking about this. Exactly. We mentioned that obviously something went wrong for them to actually decide to
kill. Yeah, these are people who they work for.
Exactly, and now that we found out the reason,
now that's like
we have to bounce it back again.
I think I actually saw this headline this morning. One of these papers that we read that says something like they're going. I think
they didn't check points.
No, not the book.
Okay.
Not the the government is going to deploy like a 1,000 or 100
JTF.
Now the JTF now would still include this same people in Borno that are already.
As I said, the story was just depressing because that was what we're talking about. Not all the time criticize government, always give solutions and alternatives. And all what we're talking about was create an arm where they'll do intelligence and in my head I'm thinking, okay, with this thing that he just said,
exactly.
We need to re-strategize. We need to rethink what.
So
that's called.
It might be working somewhere else.
Basically, as we move forward, they're also taking steps forward at this.
But this was smart though.
Yes, that's the thing.
Because we need to be one step ahead of them.
And that calls for plan Bs and things like that. Because honestly, if that's what we're really going to stick to now, and it's blown up in our faces, and we don't actually have a plan B, we're all let's gather and rethink at this point in time. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be sort of prepared.
Be ahead of him. His video. We're not going to show that video. The whole point is, because we mentioned it, if you begin to share such videos, it's like you're helping them promote or propagate their messages.
It's quite sensitive.
But his video brought a bit of clarity to what we're trying to understand, why these are the same people you do business with on a daily basis, they help you out. And all of a sudden, even that from the video we were supposed to watch yesterday, they were talking about one of the farmers who escaped. So these people we help carry load, help them move their goods. And all of a sudden, they started killing us one after the other. We didn't even know what triggered it. Now we know what triggered it.
Exactly.
One of you had gone to snitch to the military, caught one of our brothers, and then handed him over to the security officers. So now they are doing revenge killing. So what in another event where villagers see these terror groups come and just live amongst them, what will give them the audacity to now want to help the government? So when the military mentioned yesterday, just for instance, we need to just tie it in between. The military came out and said one of the people that sabotages our operations is civilians who give information back to the terror groups. And we now see what we're saying now is these terror groups have found a way to mingle with civilians, and that's going to be difficult for the military because you can't now tell who is a terror person and who is clean or who is an innocent civilian. Now, if you can't even still justify that, if you now tell the military, just go in there and bombard the whole thing, you're going to have another Zaki Biam. You're going to have another massacre.
Looking at what you're saying, are you then saying they should channel their focus to trying to limit their interactions with terrorists? And even doing that,
Do you mean it's the people? It's how you can't.
No. You can't exactly.
You can't.
I'm not advising. I'm not advising the people to have more or better interaction with the terrorists. But I don't know if I even should say this, but the only solution they have right now is have that interaction. Why I'm saying that is there are two parties here. One brings you fear, the other one should bring you security. If you don't feel like the other one who's supposed to bring you security can guarantee you that security, where do you turn to? The one who you're scared of. The minute they try to turn away from,
it's a natural psychology.
Exactly.
Yeah, it happens.
So if the military cannot guarantee you security, obviously you're turning towards the ones that you feel they will let you leave if you work with them or liaise with them. So that's
and that means you will definitely not get the information. Will never get the military will never get intel from those civilians out there.
They change their strategy, which is stop relying on those people, because relying on them is what has cost us this much lives. So try something else. I don't know.
And still on the matter though. Now we're going to be thinking about figures. It was 43, 48, now 67, some saying 73. The UN had retracted the 100 and... But the thing is, now we're looking at numbers. I don't care if it's just one person that died though. Because from what Shekau said, it was just one of their brothers that they arrested. And then you took out...
So what if it were two?
He has his number, which we're going to later look on.
I'm just looking at... So in fact that...
I'd like to look at the number.
I'm thinking for the fact that he did over... Let's just say over 40, because right now numbers are just throwing around. Over 40 for just one person that was arrested and not killed. Exactly. Was just arrested. Yeah. So imagine if they took out his, say, one squad of a number of people, how would he retaliate?
So that's why I'm trying to say that we're in a tough spot, because yes, I agree with you on what you're saying as regards the fact that we shouldn't now cut short the interactions that civilians are having with them. But in the end, either way, there might be somebody who will feel like, okay, let me give intelligence on this particular thing. So what happens if they find out that that person now does it? You get this. There's no way at this point in time you can successfully say you're going to actually help them run this. Would I call it an operation? An area of intelligence. So at this point in time, I'm actually stuck for the government.
I can't even prefer it.
That's the thing. Because so you can imagine the conundrum that we're facing now. That's why I said people were just shouting, "Oh, change the service chiefs." You bring the next person, he's going to face the same challenge. You need to bring somebody. And there was one point I tried to make yesterday. I'm going to skip to me because we had the caller calling. If you're going to bring people from the same rank and file, as in from the same structure that they have now, why hasn't those people told the upper echelon of ideas?
Okay, Emmanuel, just sorry to cut you there. You mentioned having a caller come in. And I just want to quickly announce that our lines are officially open. So if you're interested in calling us in and participating on this particular topic, if you have contributions that you would like to share with us, then this is the time. You have the number on the screen, and that's 0815-301-5946. So please do call in, and we're waiting in for your lovely contributions. Emmanuel, you can pick up from where you start.
Okay, let's assume this is the hierarchy that we have, and Iowa is our class. Okay, no, let me use you. Since you're the class captain for yesterday, so she's the class captain, and then you're still the class captain. So she's the class captain, and you're the assistant, and I am the errand boy. And then hang on now. So and everyone just saying, oh, for instance, this our room is not so clean, and at the end of the day, it's the head that they always say bears the whole brunt. And I have a way of always making it clean, spotless, but I just keep quiet.
Okay, we have a call coming in. Sorry, we have to pause there. Hello, good morning. Who do we have on the line?
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Grace calling from Ikeja.
Okay, Grace from Ikeja. Let's hear your contribution, what you have to say on this topic as regards insecurity issues, Boko Haram and whatnot.
Yes, as regards this topic, like, I don't understand what the Nigerian government is doing with this Boko Haram set of people. I mean, the impunity with which Shekau is saying this is disturbing. It's really disturbing. I mean, how would you kill people, take people's lives just because you want to revenge? I don't know. I don't really know. I really can't understand.
Well, going with what Emmanuel just chipped in, he's saying, I believe that's the ammo for terrorists, and that's what terrorists do. That's what terrorism is all about.
Yeah.
So we can't simply try to understand the mind of terrorists at this point in time. But looking at where you're coming from, what I'm trying to say is that at this point in time, it seems what she's trying to say is we're not getting anywhere, because
at all
more lives are being lost, and if it's something as little as that we have so many lives
just
lost
one.
Just for one person, then that means that we aren't doing so well at this point in time. We're not actually moving forward. Well, I believe that I've aired out your opinions, Grace, at this point in time, just to help you. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
But do you have any solution in mind though?
The It's getting way out of board. It's getting way out of board. It should be stopped.
Hello, Grace. Hello, Grace.
Grace?
I can hear you.
Okay, so if, for instance, you had this opportunity to give the president a suggestion, what would you suggest?
I think at this junction, because going over the news, everyone is calling for the staff of the chiefs and all of that.
Oh, service chiefs. Okay.
Currently, people are thinking they have not been competent enough to tackle these insurgencies
Yeah.
and the terrorists. So I think it's time for the president to come out and let us know that these service chiefs are capable of doing these things. They're capable of getting to the root of this matter, getting head on with these people, and let's get this over and done with. I think we've been battling Boko Haram for like 10 years now.
Okay. Well then, Grace, thank you so much for your contributions. And I'm looking at the point that you've made. It's something to discuss on, so we're going to quickly react to that. Thank you so much once again for calling in.
Thank you.
I think Nigerians are tired.
And just like what she said, I know she just re-echoed virtually everything. Even the senators started saying the same thing. Fire the service chiefs. But I was trying to.
That's not what she's. That
was I asked her.
An interesting thing though.
Yeah.
She's not exactly saying she's in support of them firing the service chiefs. But at this point in time, how long are they going to keep on calling out for it? There should be a stance by now, because it seems like we're not hearing anything else from the presidency as regards this. So are you trying to say that you don't want to sack them? And if that's the case, make us see reasons to it and let's move on further. Because for now, we know that it seems like sacking them isn't going to be the solution. Looking at what we have at hand, intelligence at this point in time is not working out for us. So whether you sack these,
That's what I'm saying.
who else is going to prefer something?
That was why I was going to give the analogy about we having this structure and she being the head. Everybody will always come for her head because the place is not clean. And I'm saying I have a solution. So I'm waiting with my ideas until I become the head to do that. That's basically what the structure is looking like now. Because if you change the service chiefs, you're not going to be bringing foreigners now. Exactly. It's the same from the same rank and file. So you're not moving up the next person because they will tell you it's by hierarchy. So that means the person who is there now has somebody who is supposed to follow him. How has that person not suggested an alternative since for 10 years? Now we're talking about sacking the service chiefs, and I'm telling them, look, we need to begin to think outside the box. We've been changing these people. This same Boko Haram 10 years, or over 10 years, has taken like 3 sets. This is the 4th set of hierarchy of service chiefs. The only one that we felt the impact was Minima. Before he handed over to Jere, did his own thing the first few months. The same thing. They all performed wonderfully well in their first few months, and then we go back to status quo. So you're saying changing is we are doing the same thing over and over. What do they call that thing? It's a cycle. You're something is very wrong with you somewhere. You're doing the same strategy and it's not working. You change these people again. The first few months, you're like, okay, yeah, we managed to defeat them and everything. We get that sound bite, and everything go back to normal. These people have become part of a particular community. Begin to think in that line. How do we do this? Thank God you mentioned it. Don't depend on them since they're already infiltrated. Look for alternatives. Now we're taking technology. Have we thought about that? You understand?
Emmanuel, holding you on that one. We have another call coming in. Hello, good morning. Hello. We lost that one. I think we've lost it. No, we haven't. Well, we have. You can still call in again. Try again. Well, then,
so that's the point I'm trying to make. If we are talking, I remember during the NSAS protest, we were thinking one of the jokes that they started using was, elderly people don't need to sit, they need to stand. A young person will sit standing, another person will sit down. And then the clap back that came was, don't worry, we use drones these days. We go use drone run them.
Yeah.
Have we thought about using things like that, technology? Begin to see how come during the times of when this whole COVID-19 thing was that tough, people were thinking about technology that could scan you without you knowing. You just scan you and you can tell whose person's body temperature is higher than elevated than another. Technologies are always coming up. Look for help. Last time we were talking about the SWATs and the SWATs in those sides. When we see most of the movies that we watch, we wait to wonder when would we get to this point.
Okay, another call is coming in again from the same person, I presume. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Hello.
Yes, who do we have on the line? Your name, please.
Yeah, I'm Gabriel, and I'm calling from Aja.
Okay. Gabriel, you have the floor.
Yeah, it's a pity that Nigeria, the insecurity in Nigeria is according to this state. Because I would have wanted to recommend that we get foreign help, because clearly we need help in that situation. For Shekau to just come out and confidently say things that Nigerians we can't just do anything about it. The only problem is that if we call for foreign aid, it will come with a price.
Of course.
Exactly, yeah. So you're fully aware of that, but then you're saying we still need to call for foreign aid. Is there anything else you're trying to suggest at this point in time? Because you can see that we're all perplexed with this. Every solution we bring up, it seems like there's something waiting at the end to just spoil it, to ruin it. So, Gabriel, is that all?
The question is that, is Nigeria, are we willing to pay the price? Because if we are willing to pay the price, then fine, we can call for foreign aid. But it would be a lot better if we could put our house in order and just move these guys out once and for all. That would have been the most preferable solution.
Yeah.
Since that is not looking like
At all.
For help.
Okay, I like the way he says put our house in order. As it sounds interesting. It sounds quite.
But we've been trying to put the house in order since 1960.
Exactly.
But-
We're going round and round.
I mean, thank you, Gabriel. I mean,
Yes,
he made valid
thank you
points.
so
He
much
made
once
valid
again.
points.
Thank you for calling.
Alright. Yeah.
I kind of agree with him on the aspect of seeking foreign help, but then he did mention that there's a price to pay.
It was smart enough to notice that one. Yes.
Let's take note of something. For anything you decide to do, good or bad, right or wrong, there is always a price to pay.
Yes.
Now the question is, are we willing to pay the price? That was his question. My personal question now is, are we willing to allow people continue dying? This isn't the first one. This has been going on for 10 years, and they don't die in one
It's
and
over 10 years.
Exactly.
But
There are too many
that's a tricky
people.
one to say at this point.
Yeah.
If you're trying to merge it with, are we willing to pay the price if we allow a foreign help? And then talking about,
Okay.
now you're putting them on the spot.
On the spot.
Yes, I am. Isn't that what we should
No,
put there?
yes, as I said, it's
Has
a big.
enough people not died already?
That's why I said it's a big dilemma. Yesterday we were all confident and saying, okay, you know what, let's do Intel. And now this one comes and like even the Intel idea that we had is not scrapped.
We're really
Because
on the spot.
when we really sit down and think about these things, when we're talking about Boko Haram infiltrating into communities, we need to explain these things better. Many of them are married locals. So you can imagine somebody who they forcefully married, go and now snitch on them. Your life is at stake. They will kill you.
We've agreed that
That one is-
intelligence aspect that involves the citizens of that particular area
So
is a no-no.
It's a no-no.
But
And you can't recommend
we
them
have
wiping out that
service
place.
heads that they've changed 3 times, right?
Yes, now.
3 times and nothing has
Not-
happened.
yeah.
What makes you think changing this
We'll do anything. We are not saying don't change. We are not saying
Exactly.
don't change. You can go ahead and change. But the thing is, have the plan B we're talking about.
Exactly.
When Gabe called from Aja and then he said, okay, can we do this bringing in foreign help? We all immediately, thank God, immediately said, no, this side. The ones we're talking about mercenaries that the governor of Borno mentioned.
Yes.
We're talking about mercenaries, those ones don't, prices don't even come cheap. And they don't owe you no allegiance. They just come do their thing and then go. Tomorrow, if the other guys decide, okay, let me pay you more, and then go and cause havoc.
But another question
Are we
is,
giving them information
has the,
and
has the
having
government
them
been trying to
against
seek
us?
help? And the price, no, don't say of course because you're not there.
No. I'll tell you.
It's
See,
okay.
okay, yes. Go check.
Exactly.
Under the GEG administration, there was one South African that was always popular. He during the Buhari early tenure, he came out on Twitter to give us most of these things. He said they sought his help, but this new administration refused that agreement.
I was talking about this current administration because before we voted them into power, the thing was we're going to get it done. Then, like a year later,
It's not rocket,
we
that's what I'm
have
saying.
annihilated Boko Haram.
Of
That was the
course.
word that minister used.
Yeah, even
Now
yesterday, yeah, he mentioned that there are those places that are
This
liberated.
thing that I noticed, they have a way of coming out to deny things that we have in video.
Evidence.
So now that we've seen that you don't want foreign help and you still can't handle the situation, why don't you want the foreign help is what we want to know. Because obviously you cannot handle it yourself. Now let us know why you did not want the foreign help or why you still don't want it.
I remember listening to one show, and then the callers were calling in, and then somebody said, no, don't give our military weapons anymore. That isn't it to kill us because of the whole answers. I remember thinking, which one do we want? Which one do we want as Nigerians?
You can't blame the person. You go is thinking exactly.
Because of the whole answers things. Because he said instead of them to use the weapons that are giving them to attack terrorists, I see it to attack us. I'm like, So which one do we really want? Is it that we want the country to just move the way it is? Is it a norm? Because, for instance, investors will not come into Nigeria if the place is not safe. They will not come and invest in a place where.
The progress.
So some of these sound bites that we send out, most of the things we do here is not seen in just Nigeria or in Lagos. Somebody might just pick up something that we put on the social media, or they think, oh, they just say all of them in Nigeria are the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, Emmanuel and that's this particular one. I think we should probably go on a break right now. Just at least to
grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay,
because I knew this was going to be a touchy subject. I know.
Okay, please. But before we go, that we have one more call coming in. No, not to say that our lines are not open. I just saw a call. I guess we've missed that. Let's just say our final thoughts on this one because we still have the insecurity issue. Okay, the call is in. Hello, good morning. Let's hear your opinion. Who do we have on the line? Hello. Okay, you can try again. We've lost that particular one.
Final thoughts.
Okay, final thoughts on this one because we're going to go on a break shortly very soon, and we're going to just quickly give our thoughts also as regards the sacking of service chiefs and what Senate is calling for, which is also another point to look at. So your final thoughts on this particular one. Intelligence, what are we really saying at this point?
Final thoughts. Because right now I don't want to be in Buhari's shoes. I don't want to be.
But we still want to complain. We want our country to be better.
Please, viewers also know I'm no security expert. So, but what I'm going to suggest is we'll try 1, 2, 3, and it don't work, or they've not given us the kind of results we want. We're going to have a potpourri. Try all of them at the same time. While you're sacking the service chief, put intelligence, put mercenaries, put all of them together, and then use them because we've tried them one after the other, and they all didn't work. I've run out of ideas. It's not me, not my place. Just use all of them at the same time. Perhaps that would help.
I don't have a fight. I feel like I'm still going to talk about this same issue come maybe tomorrow or next week because obviously the government aren't
tomorrow is as realistic as it gets. Maybe tomorrow, and hopefully by tomorrow we're hearing more updates as regards. At least I know they're thinking.
I love our military. They might just come tomorrow.
The thoughts that they have. I know right now, as much as we feel on the spot, they feel the same way. But they know they have to give us some form of information at this point in time because it's somehow if they go mute on us, that means it shows that
everyone's going to be scared. We're living scared.
So they can't go mute on us. So we're going to be waiting for updates on this particular one. So like I mentioned, we're going to be going on a quick break right now for the weather report. And when we come back, we'll still be here for our in-depth analysis. Moving on to more topics, security is still there, and something else more interesting. Do stay tuned for that.